Hello.
Hello?
Hey. Wow, I've been since what, last year?
Yeah, I mean, considering last year was like like 30 days ago, I
Yeah, but you
guess we
can
could
only say that like within a certain time frame, so I had to say it.
legit. Nah.
Yeah, I've been seeing all your stuff. It looks very like artsy and creative. I really like it. Like your posts and like, it's very different. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, and
Has like this modern but yet retro vibe to it. I like it.
I appreciate that a lot. No, like really, really appreciate that a lot. And like one of my goals this year was to sort of educate or put people on to some of the things that are inspiring me. And I
Mhm.
feel like because, a lot of my work is different per se. Like it's I think sometimes
Yeah.
it's not received well unless like I point to the source of inspiration or I point to the reference.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, like these are the visuals, or this is the music video, or this is the painting, or this is the photo, or this is the decade, or this is the designer or whatever it is that inspired this thing that I
Uh-huh.
just made. And once I do that, it's like, oh, okay, like, yeah, I can fuck with it now. You know what I'm saying? So, you're very fashion forward. So, have you ever like worn something or like put something on and you knew the decade or you knew the designer or you knew you know that it's what's coming up and it's like someone looks at you like, yo, like what the fuck is that? Like, that's not what's hot right now. And you're like, no, 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 no. This is totally like people who fuck with this or people who are into style and fashion, they know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, so many times. Well, there's a lot of pieces that I have that are very eclectic, and like I don't think they are, but like I've worn it, and people are like, "What are you wearing?" And it's like, "What do you mean?" Yeah. So like they question me like, "Oh," and like or like make jokes like, "Oh, are you supposed to be like a bird?" Like stupid stuff. I'm like, really? That doesn't like how does that even make sense? Like, are you trying to be funny right now? Because it's not. So yeah, how many times do I get that? Like friends, family, and sometimes it's not even like I've learned to like not take it to the heart. And it's like, well, you don't understand it because you're not into fashion, but like I am.
Yeah. I've definitely, yeah, experienced that not only with, like I said, some of my crafts, but definitely with clothing as well. But like, do you just write it off as okay, you just don't get it, or do you take the time to like put them on to where where the source was or where that came from or where it's going, and do you take the time to convey that, or do you just like, yo, you don't get it, and there are people who do, and I'm okay with that.
It depends on how they're coming at me.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like if they're being ignorant and like making fun of me, or they're making a joke, or making me feel like I don't know what I'm talking about and I'm just being crazy. Me, it's like people wear designers because it's to show off, right? Or like to look expensive.
Hmm.
And they wear they wear so much like brand, everything's brand, brand, brand. And like I love brands too and I love fashion, but like I like to know where it's coming from and I like to be educated. So when someone does say something to me like, "Well, why'd you do that?" and I can say like, "Well, this is what Versace came out with, or this is what, Armani when he first started out, this is what was his inspiration. That I really like this line, and then it kind of shuts them up because it's like, oh wow, she's not just a brand whore, she's not like just following designers to like look expensive or look cool or look rich. It's about my love for it, So I like to know where the designers come from, and I feel like Manolo is he's such a classic, and Sex and the City just blew him up, but I really want to know like what was his inspiration, like his life, and I just like to educate myself, if that makes any sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. So it's almost like the equivalent to someone's favorite athlete or someone's favorite painter or someone studying theater. Like you're going not only into specific designers, but you're going into what inspired the designers and like where their inspiration came from, and you're looking at from what I guess understood, you're particular about wanting to understand the different cuts or the different textures and the different designs beyond the label or beyond the brand.
Yeah, and I feel like I have so much more to learn too. Like I want to be more educated and like, where were we? I was with my brother one time and I looked at this purse and he's like, "Oh, he said something." And I said, "Oh, well, Prada started that and the double chain purse where it's like a chain on both ends." I said Prada started that and everybody kind of followed through, and now that's how it works in the design world. And he's like, wow, you actually know. He's like, like it always shocks me, like you actually know what you're talking about. Like you're not like, oh, that's product. Like like where it came from, why like all these brands are like following the certain brand and stuff. But I just like it. You're right, it's like a craft, it's like an art, because I think fashion is art. And it's like when you're into art, there's so much to learn, right? Like art history and the different types of art. And to me, that's what my art is, fashion.
Of course, people have their things and they don't always know how to explain why they feel the way they feel or why they are drawn to certain things or people or places. And if you could articulate, if you know how to articulate, like why does style or why does that please you? Like why does, you know, why is that pleasing to you?
I think style to me, it's a passion, it's an art. It it's so much to me. It's an expression of who I am. It can take me from, I don't know, the 20s to um like modern day, how we're dressing now, to like the era of Twiggy, to dressing like Jackie Kennedy. So I think that's why I love style. There's certain style that's not for me, but I feel like it's so much fun to play with it. And it's, to me, like my body is a canvas, and the clothes are, it's the paint. And it's just I'm just so passionate about it. Like I was young, and instead of watching reality TV, like, you know, all the MTV stuff that was going on, most of my television was on like what not to wear, or these fashion shows, or even E News when they did Fashion Police, like a lot of like what's in sorry, do's and do nots. But I like what not to wear because it was on TLC and it was corny. But what I liked about that show was what I loved most actually was that they made over people's lives, and they didn't do it like, oh, you're frumpy, you need to dress like this. Like they took you and then they took your personality, your lifestyle, who you are, and they just taught you like you can still be yourself but dress nice. And I can't remember which designer said it top of my head, but it's like a form of good manners. I think it's Tom Ford. He said that.
I want to say that
It
that was Tom Ford. I think you're right.
Yeah. It's like when it's I feel like it's good manners.
To the point that you were mentioning earlier, I express myself in different ways, and like style is so telling. Like it's like not even just like clothes, just like the the design. I'm huge into design, and that's just interior design, that's architecture, that's vehicles, that's clothing. I'm just really huge in design. That's the uniforms that a football team chooses to wear on this Sunday as opposed to last Sunday in reference to alternate jerseys and whatnot. But I'm just huge, really huge in design, plates, cups, all that, right? So
Yeah.
I've learned that the the style or the design choices you make reflect a large part of who you are, right?
Mhm.
So I recognize something. This is all in retrospect, of course, removed and pat, and this is like removed from the situation and looking back in the past. But I realized who I was and what some of my thought processes and perspectives were around the age of like 19, 20, 21, 22. in reference to how I dressed, or considering how I dressed. And I realized that I did like a lot of like things that were out of bounds, a lot of things that were considered taboo. I wore a lot of things that were like, just I just made my own rules with it essentially, and I wore it wherever I wanted to wear it, and I did what I felt. And in retrospect, me just looking at how those design choices were reflective of where I was and who I was at that time, like my life was so serious. You know what I'm saying? In that, like, there was so much weight and pressure and responsibility, and I was
Mhm.
pretty young. I was just coming out of high school, and like there was just like it was heavy. You know what I'm saying? And I think that I expressed the freedom and the looseness and the um, the non-serious sort of parts of myself that I needed to stay in touch with through clothes and through, you know, different types of music. Like I went to concerts like crazy. Like just went to any concert that I felt like I wanted to, check out, and I was always going to a show. But namely clothes, because that's what we're talking about. Like I realized that I was wearing those things or doing those things in terms of clothing and fashion because I was trying to counterbalance what it is that was going on in my life and where I was. And I think that we see that a lot in like I said, the people around us, and whether it's you're designing stability or you're designing uniformity or you're designing something, a more colorful life. You see all of these things through people's style choices and their fashion and their their ways of dressing. And a huge point that I've seen someone made online was in reference to rappers and how these guys, they come from nothing at all, right? And
Mhm.
because they come from nothing, the moment that they get, or a lot of them, this is just of course what I feel like is a majority, at least that's what they rap about, is coming from nothing. When they get money or when they have the means to do so, they they kind of just like it's almost like it's excessive. Like here are the fur coats and like the 10 chains and the 2 watches and the 6 rings and the huge studs, and and it's like here's a Ferrari and all of these things, and it's almost like it's reflecting where they're at in their life. Their style choices and decisions are reflecting that, hey, this is something that I've been not able to understand or experience or take part in, and it was a desire of mine, and now that I have the opportunity to, here it comes in extravagance and excess. Maybe you can offer me some advice on this, or maybe you can give me some perspective on this. So like I said, in reference to places of perceived significance or importance, like work or places of worship or different types of esteemed settings, I totally take the back seat when it comes to style and fashion and all that these days, right? And it's almost to the
Mhm.
point to where my friends accept it from me. It's gotten to that point to where they just don't expect me to, wear or, do
Put
much.
effort.
Yeah, put effort into it. And it's not like, yo, this thing isn't important to me, or I don't care about you guys, or anything like that. It's just I've understood it to not necessarily communicate the significance or the importance. And I don't know, maybe you can offer me some perspective on, do you think I should like put more effort into how I dress and all that, or do you think it's not a big deal, or is it only a big deal if I make it a big deal that day? Like, what do you think?
That's tough. I do know what you mean, and I think it has to do with your comfort level with the people around you too. With me, my friends always make these jokes like at least once a day, where they say they're like, "You don't know what casual means." They're like, "You show up, you tell us to show up casual, and it's like you show up so cute." But to me, I'm like, what do you mean? This is casual. You know, like to me, like I just throw something together, and to me, I'm literally just throwing it together. I'm being lazy. But what my lazy is a lot of people's dressing up, and like I'm the opposite. I don't understand that concept, and people have to explain to me, like when they say let's all dress casual. I'm like, okay, but tell me, what does that mean? Like a jeans and t-shirt? Like I don't know. And then so what happens is the opposite. So we have group settings, and all my friends are always like, okay, what are you wearing? And Snapchat us or show us. Like, we want to see a picture because oh, I'm just throwing this skirt and top on is never that. It's always something more. And to me, I'm like, no, I'm not. You know, like, it's simple. It's like, to me, it's just easy. I just put it in my head. I'm not putting that much effort. But to everyone else, they're like, oh my God, you're dressing up. So, but I do understand where you're coming from because the rest of my friends, in their perspective, it's like what you feel, that they're around like everyone they're comfortable with, and we all know that we can dress, but at that setting, is it really necessary to dress up? They just want to be comfortable, and I think that I think you should um, analyze the place you're going to or the event based on that. Like if you're going to somebody's house to watch a movie, like a bunch of you guys are doing something casual like that, I don't think you should feel pressured to dress because if somebody invited you to their birthday dinner at a restaurant, I think then you should put effort because you're in an out public outing with them, then you should put effort because it's their birthday. Does that make any sense? I think it all depends on where you're going
No, that's
and
fair.
who
And
you're with.
I think you were expressing the first scenario being at like a movie night or like a friend's place. Like that's more for you. Like you're going to relax or be comfortable as to where I'm going to I'm going to a friend's birthday dinner or let's even say a wedding. Like this is for the person or the people. And so that's where effort needs to be conveyed or understood on your part by how you present yourself or how you dress. Is because this other thing is for someone else. And I want to say that's what you're saying. You can correct me if that's not what it is you were trying to convey.
And I'm also saying that not everybody's gonna be like the way I think. I get pretty ridiculous. Like that's what I feel. Like people expect you to show up a certain way because that's the world they're in. But I do understand that like clothes and the art of dressing is not for everyone. For some people, a t-shirt and jeans is okay because their passion or their wants or needs in life, their fulfillment or things that that makes them happy is somewhere else, and that's understandable. But it's like what I said. But I think at certain occasions, people should put effort in.
If I'm going to dinner, right, and I'm going to dinner with friends, or I'm going out and I'm going out with friends, like that's for me. You know what I'm saying? That's for us, of course, but like that's for me to relax and that's for them to relax and that's for them to take a break and it may be in a public space and it may be at this function or this event or it may be at a restaurant or at a nice spot, but this is for us to kick back and this is for us to enjoy ourselves and this is for, I didn't come out to you know, put in an effort or to express something to someone as far as, significance or how much I enjoy the establishment or whatever it is. This is for me. And so if I'm coming out for me and if I'm going to a Rockets game or if I'm going and this is real life, these things have happened. A Rockets game or the last concert I went to was a Guwap concert. It was a Gucci Mane concert, right? And we're
Mhm.
driving from Southeast Texas out to Houston that day, and my homie he asked me, he's like, "Was at work?" He's like, "Yo, what you wearing?" I like, "What I always wear," and that's some sweatpants and a t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to this concert for me. Like, I'm not going to like make sure that Gucci understands how much I appreciate his music or like to I'm going for me. I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to this game or I'm going out tonight with friends to relax and to be comfortable. And sometimes maybe I feel like that's where I'm parting ways with others as far as like what it is. Because my friends will text me, and when I invite them places, and you could ask the next time we're in like a group setting, and like I know the last time you met some of my friends, it was at the arts studio in the Heights.
Uh-huh.
And this is like no lie, like it was just a period of time where I'd always get two of the same questions when I send out an invite, right? And the first question would always be who else is going, right? And I'd never respond to that. That's just not something I'm not gonna like list names for you, just just so you can decide whether or not I'm worth your time, right? So whatever.
Yeah.
Who's coming would always be the first question, and then what should I wear? And you could ask my friends this because every single time they would ask me, what should I wear? I say, whatever makes you feel good, right? And they'd be like, fucking
Mhm.
Brian, like fuck, like just tell me what to wear, like, like what do people usually wear there? I'm like, I mean, I don't know, I don't usually be, I just give them some ambiguous answer, like I don't know. So then they'll go like Yelp it or like look into it because they feel betrayed by me if they show up and they're underdressed or they're overdressed compared to everyone else. And I'm like, yo, but like, you feel good though, right? And like, shut up, that's not the point. And like, it's just, in my mind, we're going out for us. We're going out to have a good time. And it's just like, I'm not, yeah. So I think maybe that's where I part ways with a lot of others when it comes to environment and space and what should be worn and what shouldn't be worn. And I don't know. It's just I'm hoping they choose an alternative to think. I guess that's like just like be like if you want to overdress and you want to feel cute or you want to feel sexy or you want to feel seen or noticed, do that. Like I don't, we could leave where we're going and go to another place that's either as you know, more mellow or more, upscale than the last place we came from. It doesn't matter. Like what you have on should be what you want to wear tonight, and that should make you feel good. Or maybe it's like, yo, like I just want to play the corners of the room, and I just want to, chill with friends and just only talk to who I came out with and not really socialize much. And I want to say less words than more words, and that's cool too. Dress how you want to dress and move how you want to move. And I think that that's what I was always indirectly communicating when I say like, yo, yo, what's the dress code? What should we wear? Like, first of all, I'm never taking you guys anywhere that has a dress code or that would tell you what to wear. Fuck that, and fuck whoever's at the door that thinks that they can, do better, that they know better than what we know. So whatever. I'll never invite you out to anywhere that has a dress code that's strict or anything like that. But for two, like, do what you feel like doing, like wear what you feel like wearing, and that's what I would always, I guess, indirectly try and communicate.
Like I've always loved fashion and I knew it, but
Mm,
I didn't really execute it until I think I was in my 20s, early 20s. I mean,
same.
a lot to just having the money, understanding. And in high school, it's I feel like this generation's a little different. Maybe so, just a little bit. But high school's always about trends, right? And I fell into that a little bit of, oh, this is the new thing. Um, Now well, not even now, like, when I finally grew into my skin more, I think I never really cared about trends. If I wore something because it was trendy, it's because I loved it. Like when I did the beret because Vogue announced it was back. It was not because Vogue announced it was back, so I have to do it. I mean, I love it. I think it's so chic. It takes this simple outfit and makes it into, it evolves it. It takes it to a whole nother level. So to me, it's if something's in and I like it, I'll wear it.
Hmm.
But I'm not wearing it because it's in. I'm wearing it because I like it and it's flattering to me. And I think at the end of the day, it's what makes you comfortable and what flatters you. I mean, people think it's really cocky when I say that. Like, they're like, why'd you wear green for your birthday? Is it your favorite color? And I said, no, it's just flattering. They were just laughing. And I said, well, that's what I love about style too, because it brings out different moods, different parts of my personality in the most sane way. Um, And it's, what's great on me is not great on someone else. What's great on someone else is not great on me. And that's what I love about it. It's customized to each person.
Yeah. And I think the way that I would, because I would get that sometimes too, as far as like styles and trends, the way I would articulate it or the way I would communicate it to others is that like I'm not buying this because it's in style or it's because it's fashionable. I'm buying it because it's available now and I like it. You know, like
Yeah.
maybe it wasn't available or it wasn't being mass produced a year and a half ago because it wasn't what was fashionable or in style, and now it is, and now it's available, and I bought it because I liked it. And I think that what people can't separate in their heads is that because it's a reality. Some people, they don't like things or they don't know if they like things and they just buy it because they're in style or because it's what's fashionable at the moment. And what I would communicate to people is like, no, like there are things that are fashionable and that are in style and that I don't like that I'm not at all drawn towards, that I don't at all appreciate, and that's okay too. It's for someone. But the reason why I bought this thing that happens to be trending is because it's being mass produced today and it wasn't a month ago. And now that it's being mass produced and it's available at a price that I can afford and that I feel would work as far as me wearing it regularly or semi regularly, I'm gonna buy it. That's just it. That's just my decision. Like, it's I got it now, and I'm gonna wear it. And I
I like classics because at the end of the day, you can always bring it back.
think,
Um, what I didn't like was, there's certain looks that I just didn't like, and that's just not me. But I liked how other people did it. I was like, wow, that's great, but I just can't do it because I like certain looks and I like things that like, will stand through the test of time in some ways. And so like, there's certain looks that I wouldn't do. I want to do, but it's like, do I really want to go and like purchase this outfit that I'm gonna wear once? It just doesn't really speak to me. So I think that's what another thing about trends that I don't like is because it's only so temporary.
yeah. Well, it's getting late, and I know we both have work in the morning, so I'm not gonna keep you on the phone. But no, I reached out. I thought of to talk to you about this because I thought that first of all, there's no one that I know that. No, I don't want to say no one, but there are very few people like I can count on my hands who I guess present themselves the way that you do, and I thought that you'd be the perfect person to get insight on from this. And actually in a few days, so on Wednesday, I'll be headed back to Houston for a flight to New York. So I'll be out in New York. It's New York Fashion Week, as I'm sure you knew.
Oh,
Um,
of course I knew, but I couldn't make it. I'm so jealous. Say
well,
walk the streets, like walk
there
the
we go.
local.
There we go. See,
You're,
you get
I
me.
love it. So much inspiration and people from all over the world. That it's like the perfect spot for fashionistas, right? Or people into art and that have a passion for all this. I love it. I'm so jealous.
No, you totally understood like where I was going or what the point of making this trip was. Not only has it been on my bucket list to do like a Paris Fashion Week or New York Fashion Week, but now that I have different crafts or different ways of expressing myself or connecting with people, I'll be out there primarily trying my hand at street photography. So I want to be outside in the streets, and I've shot runway shows before, and I've seen runway shows in Houston. And I'm like, okay, I've been there, done that, whatever. But what I feel like I get from New York or the East Coast, especially during a New York Fashion Week, that I can't get in Houston, is what you just explained. In like these everyday people, they dress like this all the time. You know what I'm saying? And they're coming and going from whatever studio or whatever scene they're coming from all the time. And it's just more amplified now because of the festivities. But I want to be in the streets, and I want to be taking photos of people, and I want to get just people in their element, and rocking what they rock and wearing what they wear and doing their thing. And so it should be fun. It should be a good time.
Well, I mean, I love all the work you do, and I love collaborating with you. So I mean. I'm always interested.
Perfect. So I can take that as we can do some more things in 2018.
Yes, definitely.
All right, man. Well, I'll let you go to sleep, and I'm gonna get. You already beat me to the dishes, so I need to take care of mine and do some other things. But I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Okay, you have a good night.
You do the same.
Okay, bye.